My wedding day was ruined and my husband thinks I'm overreacting. Many people have told me that I've overreacted today and that I've ruined the day for everyone. Now my husband's upset because we were charged extra, due to the service taking longer after I walked out of my own wedding. He thinks that I overreacted, and I don't think I did. I think that it's not okay for his mom to say such things about me. Instead of defending me, he laughed. I mean, can you imagine? Now, he has spent the bulk of our honeymoon simply telling me that I'm overreacting. He refuses to apologize or see how it affected me emotionally, and well, I don't know what to say to this man so that he can see how hurtful his mom's words were towards me. It was my wedding day, the day when I felt the most beautiful, yet she ruined it by commenting on my weight. It was so uncalled for. I did not do anything to her to provoke this, and this happened right after our vows and we had just cut the cake, and she was nearby talking to my sister-in-law. My sister-in-law, Enos, said something that caught my attention, so I don't know, I called her over to the table. I felt like having more cake since I have not had any for ages. I ate as much as I could to fit into this dress. My mother-in-law noticed me taking another slice and she just laughed. She said that if I kept on eating that cake, I was going to burst out of my dress, which was already struggling to fit. I heard a snort next to me and I looked, just in time to see my husband trying to hide his laugh. That was the first strike. I controlled myself and just laughed along with them, hoping to change the topic. I get it. My body is not the ideal type, but I'm healthy, and I'm happy about it. I figured that since my mother-in-law is a personal trainer and helps people with their weight loss, she was just trying to recruit me to join her classes again. I had nothing against it, I just did not have the time and energy to dedicate to her strict diet. If I found time in a couple of months, then I planned to visit her for a class or two. But then, a few minutes later, she made another comment. This was the moment I flipped. One comment was enough. It could have easily been taken for an accident. But two, she was deliberately trying to make me feel bad about myself. She does this occasionally, and, well, it does not matter who it is. No one is safe from her snarky comments. But my husband promised that she would be on her best behavior for the wedding. Imagine having to be told by your own son to behave. That's what happens when a person has no filter like my mother-in-law. This time, she said that my husband Robert was going to have to pay the photographer extra to hide my baby's bulge. I asked what she's talking about. I'm not pregnant. And she said, oops. Robert laughed. And this time, he did not even hide it. When I glared at him, he jabbed my tummy and said that it was like jelly. At least Enos got the cue that I was not into the jokes, and she tried to change the subject, but I was already feeling terrible. Tears gathered up in my eyes. The MC announced that it was now time for the speeches. My mother-in-law said that she wanted to go on stage first and ran up there, so I stood up. I was too upset to even speak. I was shaking. She did not have to do this on my wedding day, and I was feeling good about how I looked in the dress, but now she was making me worry that the wedding pictures were not going to come out well. I wanted to have the perfect wedding pictures, but was Robert really going to have to pay the photographer to Photoshop me? I've not had body dysmorphia in so long, but now it's coming back, and suddenly I could not breathe or be around them. So I got up and made for the exit, and my husband called after me, but I did not turn around. He bombarded my phone with text messages asking me what was going on, and I told him to leave me alone. He called me, and I answered, telling him that I needed a moment, but I was so hurt that my voice broke and I started to cry. Instead of trying to comfort me, he told me that the people were starting to talk and I needed to be there. He also told me that we were taking pictures soon, and I just told him to take pictures with his mother, and I was done. He asked why I was acting like such a child, and this did nothing to improve my mood. The last thing I wanted was for my husband to invalidate me like that. I asked if he did not hear what his mother said, and he said that she was just going to be on her best behavior from then on out, and was this what he was talking about? He told me that he was not going to let me make a scene like this, and I told him that he and his mom could enjoy the rest of the wedding, and I was done. I hung up on him, and I went to my car and started to drive. After driving for about 40 minutes, I'd calmed down enough to go back to the wedding. I figured that I might as well get my wedding pictures and not let her win. Well, when I pulled up, my husband was waiting for me and he was on his phone calling and texting, and when I got out of the car, he told me not to do such a dumb thing ever again, and he said that I've embarrassed him in front of everyone. There was nothing much to do now, I just had to go and get the pictures done. He also kept whining about the extra $50 he was going to have to pay because of me. Well, I told him that he should have been more worried about how I felt. I asked him if he thought it was funny that his mom was bullying me. This turned into another argument, of course, and which, well, we did not get to finish because we were in a rush to take the pictures since it was getting dark. I plastered on a fake smile and took those pictures, even though I did not want the woman anywhere near me. The rest of my wedding was an absolute blur, and everyone else but I enjoyed it. My mood was already being ruined, and I was drained. I could not even dance for a long time. I kept feeling like people were looking at me and laughing at me, and it was not a nice feeling at all, and it made me withdraw more. When the reception was over, I was so relieved. I mean, seriously. As my husband and I were leaving, Enos came up to the car and she hugged me and told me that I looked beautiful. Her mom was full of nonsense. It made me feel better about myself, and my sister-in-law is more like a sister to me. She's kind and she always makes sure that I'm comfortable, and if I need something I call her and she's always assisting to me. She's the only one who's ever had my back, as my husband and mother-in-law have been trying to gaslight me. They say that she had no malicious intention, so why did she make such comments twice? She has often made backhanded comments about my choice of decor, who I invited, etc., and I just gritted my teeth and kept my words to myself. Because she was, my husband's mother, but enough is enough. She does not respect me. Then there's my husband. How dare he laugh at my expense when he knows how I feel about those jokes? He laughed both times, so does that mean that he thinks that I'm unattractive? I get it. His mom looks way fitter than me, even though I'm younger. But that does not mean that she can say what she wants about me. How dare she ruin my wedding day like that? I've decided that I will not speak to her until she apologizes. My husband also needs to apologize for laughing and stop invalidating me. Here I thought that I've married a man who loved me and supported me. Yet, not even a day into our marriage, he's already shown the world that they can disrespect me, and he will not say sorry. Well, what do you guys think? Am I overreacting, asking for some respect? What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here. So our next update comes out 1 month later, and strap your seatbelts in because it's about to get so crazy. If you guys are new to the channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. It helps support the channel a lot, and I appreciate that. Update number 1 month later. Married life has been terrible. And I think I'm having second thoughts. It's wild to me because I was so sure that I wanted to marry him. Well, that was before I knew how much he could suck up to his mother, and I'm tired. I'm not saying anything because I don't want to be called a drama queen again. His mom never apologized to me, by the way. We just did not speak about it after we came back from the honeymoon. The honeymoon was very interesting. My husband and I fought a lot and realized that there was so much that we did not properly discuss. Sadly, I think that my marriage is on the rocks. I'm trying so hard to be a good wife, I really am. But to be forgiving and to make this work, he just makes it so hard. Recently, we've been talking about buying our own home, and at the moment, we're staying in my apartment. It's tiny and does not feel like a house. I really want to build a home with him. I want a big kitchen, a backyard, and an aesthetically pleasing living room. We do have the money saved up, and a bunch of family members helped us with the deposit of the money. But now he wants to use that money to invest in trucks. I know he got this idea from his mother. I get that it's a good investment, but it'll take a while before we get the money back. Also, we're planning to start a family soon, and we'll need the house so that we're not cramped up in an apartment. It's one of those things that makes me upset. We had these plans before we got married, but now he wants to change them? Every time he comes from his house visiting his mother, he just sprouts some nonsense, and I don't want to see that woman around my home. And unfortunately, I cannot tell her not to come here. I've been thinking lately that I should cut my losses, and we've only been married a month and we're not in a community of property. Sure, we're going to be the talk of the town for a couple days, but that'll just end when the next piece of news comes along. I'm not very happy in this marriage, and I feel like I'm sinking. The man who I married is not the one that I got engaged to, and it's like his mask came off as soon as we said our vows. Now, I'm thinking about what my grandma said, and she said that I had to be 100% sure that I wanted to be with him. I thought I was. The only problem I had with his mom. Now I find myself wishing I could go back in time and not even agree to get married to him. Update number 2. They say that revenge is a dish best served cold, and I think that my dish is ready to be served. She'll not know what hit her. She messed with something important to me, so I'll make sure that I do the same to her. I want her to feel how hurt I was. I know this is a complete 180 degrees from my last post where I wanted to leave my marriage, but then I realized that I would be playing into what she wanted. She did not want me to leave him because she did not think that I was good enough for him. In fact, she wanted one of the women she helps with weight loss to be with him, but he was not interested in her. He chose poor old me, and it's an open secret that I've actively ignored, but when I get to the wedding pictures, I realized that something was amiss. More than half the pictures did not have me in them. Instead, it was a lot of pictures of my husband and various family members, and then there was that woman who was rumored to be her choice. Her name is Clarice, and I did not like how she was holding on to my husband at all. I asked my husband about these pictures, and he shrugged and said that they all took pictures when they were waiting for me to come back. This was funny, because when I came back to Clarice, she was nowhere to be found in those pictures. The pictures came out well, but not as well as I wanted them to. There are, only 1 or 2 that I can frame and put on the wall. On the rest, I just look very sad. It's like it's not my wedding day, and I'm not happy at all about that, and I know whose fault it is. It's my mother-in-law's fault. So I've decided that it's time for us to finally bond, and I sent her a message today, letting her know that I wanted to embark on a weight loss journey with her. I paid and bought the products, and my next class with her is next week. There's something that's been nagging me about her that I need to confirm. If it's true, then she's going to be so much more embarrassed than I was after what she did. I don't feel sorry for her. She messed around with me, now she'll find out, and also I've decided that I'm going to hold on to my marriage. We have gone through too much to allow her to ruin us. I know that my husband's not aware of how his mother is ruining our marriage, but it's okay. I plan to save him and expose her. As they say, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Update number 3. I've been spending a lot of time with my dear mother-in-law lately, and it certainly made me see her in a new light. I never would have, if I have not chosen to come to see these classes. I now appreciate the relationship that we used to have a little bit more. She's worse when she is with the other people. When it comes to her students, she's absolutely brutal. I thought that she said about me was insulting, but it was not the worst that she's had to say. She rules with an iron fist, and anybody who does not follow her diet regimen is kicked out. She rules by fear and does not give encouragement when you've done well. Instead, she points out when you've done something bad, and she brags about how, at her age, she has the perfect body and maintains it so naturally. She says even younger men ask her out, and she's so vain. It irritates me to be anywhere near her. At least Enos is there, and together we take slight jabs at her mom when she's not listening. Enos says that she feels like she's in the shadow of her mother. She's always trying to eat less, exercise more, but she feels like she can never be the same as her mom. Well, I have no idea what she's talking about because Enos looks good. She's healthy, beautiful, and she should definitely share her skincare routine with me. But she feels so inferior next to her mom, and I'm sad about that. I was making little progress on finding something I could use against her so that I could save my marriage. It seemed like she was perfect and had no dirty secrets. That is, until the biggest secret of them all fell into my lap. Enos came to my house crying one evening, saying that her boyfriend had dumped her and she said that he suspected her of cheating. Somebody that he knew found her profile on a website, and not just any website but a sugar baby website. Some older man was claiming that he had been talking to Enos and had sent her money. She was even ID verified, so there's no way it was a fake. But when I looked at Enos, I did not believe that she would do such a thing. She's not the type of girl to cheat on her boyfriend for money. We thought maybe it was a jealous friend, but could not think of a specific person. Her boyfriend did not even want to hear it from her, though. He was convinced that she's been double-crossing him, two-timing him. But I had a hunch about who would do that. Her mother. She is, after all, single and lives with Enos, and Enos does not take her ID with her everywhere, obviously, and does not recall it ever going missing. But guess who could steal it, take a photo to verify the account, and start scamming people? That's right, her mother. So then, we sent an email to the company that was hosting this account because we wanted to report it. We let them know that it was a fake, and that somebody was using her pictures. They told us that they could not help us. After all, the account is verified. So I just exchanged back and forth emails with them for hours, pandering to them to do something about this. I can be Karen when it comes to things like this. After all, Enos lost her relationship because of it. I was going to make sure that whoever did this to her would pay. At the end of the day, I finally got something that we could work with. An IP address. That's right. I got somebody to quickly track it for me, and guess where it led? A computer at my mother-in-law's shop. It also ended up getting tracked to a phone. No prizes for guessing who the phone belonged to. It was so funny when I thought about it. Of course, she would be the person to do that, whether it was boredom or greed. Those were not my questions to ask, and I just remembered the look on Enos's face when I told her that her mother was responsible. She started to cry. She could not believe that her mom could ever dare to do this, and I don't know, guys, imagine finding out that your mom was using your face to scam people. No one should ever have to experience that. She asked if she could sleep at our house, and then she would confront her mother the next day, and we gave my husband an excuse, as we did not want him to lose his temper. We planned to tell him after she spoke to her mom, and that's exactly what we did. The next morning, Enos went home and confronted her mother. She came back with bags and tears in her eyes, and, she told me that she did not want to see that woman again. She had sacrificed her youth to work with her mom instead of taking other opportunities. Her mom felt no remorse for what she did. In fact, she told Enos that she was dumb for not having thoughts of it first, and she claimed that what she did was not that bad, because she never met those men. But one of these men recognized Enos and told her boyfriend, assuming that she was cheating. Enos spent the rest of the day sleeping. She could barely eat. When her brother came back from work, he asked if it was still the breakup that was making her sad, and I had no choice but to tell him and show him all the proof that we've gathered. He immediately went on the phone with his mom. He was livid. He told her that there's no excuse for what she has done, and her job was to take care of the kids, not betray them. He told her that he did not want to speak to her again. It's done. I done it. While it was at the expense of poor Enos, a win is a win. And, I'm sure that now my mother-in-law will stay away from my marriage, and that's all I wanted in the first place. It's a pity that her dirty little secret was revealed in the process, and now she knows exactly how it feels. Update number 4. Hey guys, remember how I said that my mother-in-law is a personal trainer, right? And she sells weight loss products that are apparently healthy? Well, what if I told you that she was nothing more than a fraud, and I helped expose her? This started after I stopped going to her class in support of Enos, and I went for jogs and runs with Enos most of the time. Then I would help her look for another job in exchange. My mother-in-law was acting unaffected by all this. She carried on with her classes, and she got someone else to help her out. The profile had already been reported and taken down, and Enos threatened her with legal action if she was ever found out to be using the pictures online again. My husband did not even speak to her for weeks after the stunt that she pulled. But of course, she tried her hardest to reel him back in. When I saw that she was busy doing that, I had to enlist Enos's help. I was making such progress with my husband, and we were already looking at houses that we wanted to buy. I could not imagine us now having to stop that because she had other plans. He thought that I did not notice, but he spoke to her a few times on the phone. I was defeated. I didn't know what to do, and that's when Enos gave me what I had not asked for in the first place. One evening when we were looking at some of the pamphlets that have been dropped off at our house, my mother-in-law was changing her prices and making everything more expensive. That was when Enos scoffed and said she must be wanting to go for a touch-up. I asked her what she meant by that. She then realized that she had just said something that she should not have. I watched her go through the internal struggle in her mind of whether or not to say something, and I guess something inside her won because she told me exactly what I wanted to hear. It seemed that her entire business was built on lies. She was not a trained personal trainer, and her products were dupes of other products to which she just attached her brand to. In addition, her natural body, it was not so natural. Every couple of months, she flew out to get these so-called touch-ups. While there's nothing wrong with surgery, there's something wrong with lying about it, especially when she makes false promises to her customers. They keep on paying because they believe that her methods are proven. Realistically, they'll never achieve the same body as her. It's sad that she had to stoop so low, but I guess that's what happens sometimes. People lie. After all, she must make an income. However, why did she have to come for me on my wedding day when it came to my weight? At least it was my real body, not a fake body like hers. Wow. I thanked Enos for telling me I would find some use in this information after all. I risked it all. Not even sure what I was going to do to succeed, but I'm glad that I did it, for I saved a lot of people from false prophets. She's gaining too much power in this community, all based upon a lie. I believe that truth shall set you free, and it did. All I had to do was plant the seed of doubt in the right person's mind, and the rest would sort itself out, so I went to the biggest gossip monger in town, a woman named Stacy. Stacy always has the latest of news. All she does is gossip. She and my mother-in-law are not good friends at all due to being in the same business, and Stacy sells weight loss herbs, but does not offer training herself. Either way, she's in competition with my mother-in-law through sales. So I went to her store, saying that I wanted to buy a few herbs. I let it slip that I did not trust my mother-in-law's products because she had surgery done. She said she suspected it and she just did not want to seem like a hater. So then, Stacy and I had some tea, and I told her everything. From how she was catfishing as her daughter to getting money from men. And I told her not to tell anyone, but I knew that she would. She could not help it. There was no way I was going to get my hands dirty. I was going to expose her using tactics and brains. By the end of the week, authorities were already looking into her, and it was discovered that the products she was pushing were not even allowed in this country. She's now being taken to court, but word has it that the products are known to be dangerous to people. Everybody's fuming and has stopped buying from her, and with the plastic surgery rumors escalating, nobody trusts her as a trainer anymore, and they shouldn't. She's a fraud. My husband has not said much about it, to be honest. He says that he does not want to be caught up in the drama. She's done this to herself. He's more focused on getting us a home. I'm glad to see that his focus has now gone to building a family home. And well, she's no longer here to influence him into doing things that do not benefit our marriage. I guess I got the last laugh, mother-in-law. Update number 5. Final update of the story. I believe I'm going to pass out from joy. All is failing into place, and well, it's all thanks to my family. It so happened that Enos got a job doing admin for a realtor. The same realtor happened to be selling some very good family homes at a reasonable price. With the money that we've been saving up over the years, we've managed to purchase our first family home. We recently moved in, and we love it. The great part is that my mom is not even allowed here, and after my husband found out just how dangerous the stuff was she was selling, he did not want to talk to her. I did go to get a checkup, and nothing was wrong with me, but my husband was so worried about it. It's like we're back in our honeymoon phase. Ugh. Life is back to being good, and I hope that it never changes, and now we have ample space for our family. My appointment with the doctor is next week, but a test I did a few days ago indicates that I'm pregnant. Is that not crazy? No, of course it's not. It's a beautiful gift. You must also be wondering what happened to my mother-in-law. Well, nothing less than what she deserved. She was lucky that my husband gave her money to pay her fine. It's a loan, of course, and she must pay it back, and I don't mind that he had to fork out 30,000 buckaroos to help her out because it was just a loan. Otherwise, it was jail time for her, and I know that she would not survive in jail. She's back to staying at home, and I think she's looking for a job now. Nobody trusts her in business anymore. It ran on losses for weeks until, well, finally the doors were closed. So now that Stacy has what she wanted, people came to her for the weight loss products. While Stacy does talk a lot, she actually has some very good stuff that helps with other things as well. So on that front, all is well. And, well, she is not the only one who got what she deserved. Listen to this. Enos's boyfriend. He realized his mistake and he apologized for weeks before she finally forgave him. Soon after, he realized that he could not live without her. So, he has a destination wedding in a couple of months, and she has asked me to be one of her bridesmaids. I'm honored. The wedding's only going to happen after I've given birth, so that gives me a little time to lose the weight from giving birth. Let me not jinx it, though. I still need confirmation from the doctor. It's possible that it was a false positive test. Well, I really hope it's not. I look forward to decorating the baby's room and taking care of him or her. I'm so glad that I decided to still fight for this marriage when it felt like it was impossible. I'm happy that I did not let small words that meant nothing discourage me. The person who was saying all that to discourage me was not even naturally slim. So I can't stress enough how much karma this mother-in-law got, and she deserved every single bit of it. We're talking about someone who tried to ruin OP's wedding by making her feel bad about herself, putting her down, and then going in front and doing a speech and basically just ripping OP to pieces. She even said she was conscious about her weight with the wedding dress, and I just think I'm so glad at the end of this story she was caught for what she was doing, selling products that were illegal and cheating, going against her all-natural persona. Guys, I want to know your thoughts about this story, though. So drop it down below in the comment section. If you guys are new to the channel, my name's Mr. Reddito. I narrate these sort of stories every single day. If you want to be a part of these stories, all you got to do is hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys tomorrow, but just remember one thing, it's cool to be kind. See ya!